Going through your profile, and you had almost all 30 years experience.
We never used to get any career guidance. It's basically connecting with the people.
You want to share any in the incident to remember about those days?
People are very sensitive, they are emotional. So when you emotionally connect with the people, I think it is not the conventional IR way.
You majorly work with the Japanese company.
Yes.
What is the difference between the culture?
The workplace is enjoyable, employees have the pride. You may have good processes, you may have very good systems, but if the people are not okay, nothing will work. It's a set of values, it's a set of beliefs. Culture cannot change overnight. This is the danger. Many times, many companies, they try to copy each other. I normally believe that taking disciplinary actions, I thought this is something really, exciting for a HR person.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the episode 27, the Leader Speak podcast. Today we have person who have more than 3 decades of experience in manufacturing industries, and his name is Santhosh Rao. Presently he is the head of the organization like CHRO, one of the highly manufacturing unit, and he is handling more than 2000 employees. He shared couple of things that's really helped me to understand how the things to be developed in any organization. And he has he worked all manufacturing industries, different like automotive industries. That's what he has the skills of how to build trust and how to take care of the union leaders. That's what one of the things I learned. And he talk about more self-discipline. He talk about care with concern. These are things I understand from this podcast. And best way is we talk about a lot of things. If I have a money, then I can do the charity. It is not like that. Because he do every weekend, he go to some colleges and he give talk. He'll interact with Gen Z people. He will make sure that any questions related to HR or IR, he will help those people to understand. And what we think normally, if I have money, I can do the charity, I can do some social services. It is not like that. If you give her time and experience, that is the best way to do the things. And he put a lot of learning and he is well disciplined person. Let's dive in to the conversation with Santhosh Rao. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation, Santhosh sir, and welcome to the episode 27, the Leader Speak podcast. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. It's a great opportunity to learn from each other, I think.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Before start the podcast, I would like to know about your family background, where you born, what is your education. Just can talk about your family background.
Yeah, just to talk about my background, I was born in a village called Kadapa. Which is in Kadapa.
Kadapa, okay.
Kadapa. So it's in South Canara district.
Okay.
Of course, now it's a taluk. My father was a teacher, and we were 5. I'm the last one.
Okay.
So I have 2 elder sisters, 2 elder brothers. And my early days were in the village only. And my father was very active, and he was an artist, he was a makeup artist, he was an actor, he was a writer. So a lot of things I could get from his skills, or he was also into the craft, making idols. So those days were really interesting.
Okay.
In the same time, we also had poverty, so it was very normal those days.
Yeah, correct.
I think those days for a teacher to rear 5 children, it was a big
Not easy. Yeah.
I remember, I think he was getting a salary of 60 rupees, if I'm right. He was a craft teacher.
Wow.
So that is how it was. But we really enjoyed the village life. So I think the childhood days were wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but you other siblings all they work in different cities, right?
Yeah. My first brother is an engineer. He's in Mangalore. My sister was also a teacher. Now she is retired. So other persons also is working in Bangalore. So.
But how about the education, sir? Like what you did education?
Yeah, I studied. After my PU, I opted for social work. That is bachelor's in social work.
Okay.
Then for a brief period, I worked as a community organizer, just for 1 year.
Okay.
I worked at Kushal Nagar. Again, I worked with tribals.
Oh.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
When you were studying that time?
After my graduation.
Okay.
It was a mandatory experience required for the college. So then after my graduation, I worked for 1 year, and then I pursued my master's in social work, specialized
MSW.
in, yeah.
Which college you done?
That is School of Social Work, Roshanla, Mangalore.
Oh, Roshan. Mangalore or Bangalore?
Mangalore.
Mangalore. Acha, okay.
It was-
Acha, you decided you want to pursue a career in HR.
Yeah.
Very
Yes.
clear. Okay,
Yes.
great. Acha, my next question is like, I know you already decided you want to pursue a career in HR. Why HR? What? Not anything, any other profession? Because as you mentioned, because dad has got a inherited talent, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
right.
his craft or drawing or making idols. Something this is not regular studies, no, like not on a traditional education thing. Dad has got some other curriculum activities that definitely. Why do you not choose any of those things rather than choose an HR? Like, what made you to choose as a HR?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I think I keep getting this question in many forums.
Yeah.
But I have to be very frank on it. Basraj, if you look at those days, probably it is 1990s, we never used to get any career guidance. We did not know what to pursue, right? But we used to have some role models. So I had one of my uncle who had done his MSW, and he was working as a personal officer those days. Obviously, he was a maternal uncle, so my mother, my father, everybody said, he's in a good job, so why don't you look at that? So we really never knew what to pursue. So then I thought, if you have to become personal officer, those days I had to do MSW. Not to do MSW, I had to do the BSW. So then how I got into that. So this is basically, of course later on I found that my decision was right and my selection was excellent. But this is how it started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I think you mentioned your uncle. Okay, I think he's a role model when you want to choose HR,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, for example, like in my case also, my uncle is Sodar Mava, what we call. Like,
Yes, exactly.
He's my role model in Gangavati. Like I used to go every holiday, and he's like a amazing human being. From the day when I start understanding what do you mean by role model, no? Then he is the person who dreaming that I want to be one day like business owner or I want to build my business because of that. Because definitely everyone
Exactly.
will be having a role models and we think and we act like him. That's what. Thank you so much for sharing. And I was just going through your profile and you had almost all 30 years experience, like 3-decade experience.
Yeah.
That is like amazing thing. And when we in a break we discussing about you have a couple of friend circle like you started together as a career, but they went to different, like they went in IT sector and all, but you stick on your HR in especially in manufacturing business. Why, sir? Why you don't choose because if you take 20-30 years earlier, that time IT is booming. Like now we talk about AI, right? That time is .com, like IT was booming, and everyone to start up, like you want to pursue the career in IT sector,
Right.
and you had a lot of opportunity as a HR in those days, but still you don't go that area, that side. Something is pulled you in manufacturing industries. What that the things?
Yeah, of course, there are a couple of reasons. If you look at during my college days, I had a lot of passion for IR itself. Of course, there are many verticals like training and development,
Yeah.
recruitment, etc. But I had a lot of passion for IR,
Okay.
probably because we were getting a lot of speakers from outside. So we are passionately talking about IR. Those days IR used to be full of violence. I did that there was a big strike. This is my injury what I had in IR. So
Okay.
those was really thrilling those speeches were really exciting to us. Then I said I decided that I should go in IR, and that's how I started my career. And even in my first job, so they would put me in IR section only because of my interest, right? Handling the legal cases, union settlements.
ಅದು ಹೇಳ್ತಲ್ಲ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಬಯಸಿದ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು
ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಹಾಲು ಅನ್ನ ಹಾಗೆ ಆಯ್ತು.
ದಟ್ಸ್ ಗುಡ್.
So then it continued there. Then later on again I switched to the manufacturing company only. There again I had a lot of IR challenges. We had seen strikes, we had seen lockouts. I think that was again challenging. I thought this is something really exciting for a HR person. So HR person just hiring, it's a challenge in another sector. But maybe in manufacturing sector, handling IR, handling union, and connecting with the people, I think that is very important. So IR is something we always say it's individual relation, not employer relation, right? So it is industrial relation is nothing but individual relation. So we always, I like to connect with the people, especially at the grassroots. connecting with the leaders, connecting with the workers in the shop floor. It was very exciting. Then that's how I continued, and that's my area.
Okay. But you want to pursue very clear that
Yes,
career.
yes.
But any experience you want to share when you started as a HR, especially in IR, initial stages? Do you want to share something which is change your prospect towards IR, or something challenges there then you handle differently? Maybe you are a young person, like maybe those days, like you just started career, something your boss or subordinate who helped you to understand what actually mean IR. You want to share any in the incident you remember about those days?
No, I think there are many seniors,
Okay.
whom I worked with them. They had guided me a lot. So especially for the freshers, for example, handling the legal cases or handling the union, it's not easy. But a lot of people, they had given me handhold. So that was a very good experience. And maybe after 7 years, I joined the other company. There, my perspective changed with regard to IR. Earlier, I was thinking that IR is only, you fight with the people and, it's handling the union, and that is the IR. But at the same time, after I realized, I realized that that is much beyond that, right? IR is not only that, but IR is much beyond. It's a culture. It's a individual connect. It is the way you show your care and concern to the people. I think when you do that, or when you get the success in that, IR is normally, it will be successful. That's what I realized. So especially I could get an opportunity to work with a lot of expats, that's the Japanese. So I could get exposure to Japanese culture. Even I could go to Japan and see a lot of plants. I think there actually I could get a lot of new perspectives which really changed the way I looked at IR or ER. So it's basically connecting with the people. So one of the core value, for example, now we always speak about respect for people.
Correct.
Right? So when you start respecting people, of course respect is not just a wishing, but it must goes beyond. We always say, even if you the career growth, what you give, HRD, everything is a part of respect for the people. So when you do this, I think all other things, ultimately people are very sensitive, they are emotional. So when you emotionally connect with the people, I think it is not the conventional IR way we should look at. That's what I feel.
Okay. And you mentioned you travel a lot. Like, for example, you work, let's say for 30 years of your experience, you majorly work with the Japanese company.
Yes.
Right? And you'll be traveling to the other country also, based on that maybe training, something like that. Now, when you compare with, let's say, Japan, I'm talking about the company wise, the company of like Japan, the factories, the company, and let's say an Indian company. According to what is the difference between the culture? I'm not talking about the country wise, I'm talking about now the company wise. Like you work there, you went there, you learn something in a Japanese company, and their culture, and when it's come to India and adopting those kind of strategy or something, like what's the difference when it's come to culture wise?
Yeah, I think there are few different.
You can elaborate also.
Yeah. Few differences which are very, very clear. One is self-discipline. Probably when we look at here our own surroundings, be it in the company or be it in a house or be it in society, the discipline is always enforced, right? It's like wearing the helmet. If there is a cop, then we wear a helmet. Otherwise, we look here and there, then we just try to.
I agree on that.
Or jumping the signal, even for same matter.
Correct.
But that is a country where I could see that the discipline starts from house, right? In fact, I remember one of the incident where teacher was taking all the kids to the road.
Okay.
All the kids were standing on the road near the signal.
Okay.
She will show, this is the red signal, what you need to do. This is the green signal, this is what you need to do. And all civic, public, everybody will support for educating the kids.
Wow.
Yeah? So, simple things. But that's how, even in the kindergarten, I had seen that how they educate, how to work with, how to work as a team, not on individual basis. I think a lot of things come from that. So that is about the self-discipline. So same gets converted as a work culture even in the factory. Yeah. So no need to monitor where he is going, what is the work time following, all those things, whether he is following the rules. I think it's a matter of self-discipline. Yeah. So that is one thing. Second thing is the respect for the people. Again, as I said, all the individuals are respected, irrespective of their background. Even if they don't know our language, they respect us. Many times we had a experience. Let's say they're not able to talk to us because they don't know English, right? But at the same time, I was standing in a railway station, so I don't know how to buy the tickets, right? They are the people, they will come with us.
Wow.
They will drop you to the station. Not only drop, but they will also buy the ticket for you with whatever the language they can manage, or with the actions, and they will ensure that you climb the right train, and then only they will go back. Even if I experienced one example where one lady, she came with us almost for 2 kilometers just to drop us. And again she had to go back 2 kilometers to her house. So I think that kind of respect for people, it is simply superb. And same thing gets converted into the factory setup. I had seen even at the top level. So there is no differentiation. You may be a blue collar worker, you may be a supervisor, you may be an MD, right? When it comes to the work, there is no differentiation at all. Whereas here we are more of hierarchy conscious, right? So we need permission to meet the top person, conventional, I'm telling. So those things are definitely, it is not. I think this is where we could, feel the culture is totally different than our culture.
So you mean to the self-discipline and respect of people.
Yeah.
These two are major.
And it's an unconditional commitment, what I could see. See, here when you do something, you expect something back.
Correct.
Right? Let's say I need to improve my productivity, then what company will give me? That's what I look at, right? So let's say I need to improve some, let's say from X component to Y component. If I improve, let's say plus alpha components, what I will get back? That's what we look at. But there it is not. They are 100% sure that company will take care of them. You do your best and leave it to company. It's like our Krishna's theory of karma, right? You do your work. Left, you leave it to them. Correct. So like that. So they do their work. Then they know that company will take care of them. So when that happens, that's the trust level. This trust level is many times it's a challenge even in our case, in the sense in India, if you look at why all the IR issues happens, why the ER problem happens. There's no trust.
Correct.
If there's a trust, issue should not happen. So I think this is one of the biggest challenge, and I'm very happy that in my experience, at least to some extent, we could establish trust with the union in many of the instances, and compared to many other corporates in manufacturing, we are really we're done pretty good in terms of trust.
Okay, good. Yeah, I agree on that because Japanese more disciplined and cultured people, because I'm very big football follower, okay? And 2018 I think they had a football World Cup with China and Japan is co-hosting.
Right.
One thing is impressed that because after the match, each of individual, the people who come to watch the match, they used to clean the stadium.
Okay.
Each people, like for example, as a spectator, we go as a football fan, we go and sit and watch the match. After the match, they used to take a cover, they used to clean the football stadium, including the bottles, the water bottles, all any papers, everything they used to clean. That is a culture they build in Britain. That does not happen only the time of football. It's the developed from the grassroots level. That is the kind of discipline. That is the things they normally teach. That's what their lifestyle also changed, and their life cycle is huge. Like they survive 90 years, 100 years because they have kind of a food, the kind of culture they've developed. Very disciplined people. So that's what I believe. And there are many such examples. And we had one of the managing director who used to come every day, and the first thing what he will do is he will go to all the lines, right? He will go to all the lines just to wish the people. He will go, and of course they had learned Kannada language also. They will say namaskara, namaskara, namaskara. Everybody they will say namaskara, namaskara. They will come back to the seat. The purpose was nothing else. It's just great.
give that much of importance to the human being, wish them and come back and start your work. I think these kind of examples may be very rare. I think so.
Super. And you mentioned 3 points: the self-discipline, respect for people, unconditional commitment.
Yeah.
Right. For example, when you talk about self-discipline, how is difficult in when it comes to Indian people? Like for example, in the factory, you'll be have this, because you know this is very important, because when compared to the Japanese companies, they have a self-discipline, but it's very difficult in Indian people. Why do you mention the factory or worker? How much difficulty you used to face when it comes to this, self-discipline, sir?
So probably
And how you used to handle, because you have some experience there and you come back here to the India, and you know this is a problem. How you used to, what kind of difficulty you used to face, and how you handle those areas?
I think the self-discipline, discipline when it comes for improvement, the only way is to, talk to the members,
Okay.
communicate, make him realize what is the impact of indiscipline.
Wow.
I normally believe that taking disciplinary actions and suspensions and domestic inquiries, it really doesn't serve the purpose much. Of course, we need to give the messages. That is just to give the message. But when it happens in the mass, probably, or you want long-term gains, it is basically the communication, making the person to understand the impact, and multiple strategies to make him to understand. Yeah, you can even approach the family. Yeah, it could be some persuasion through his colleagues. So a lot of things can be done, right? So this self-discipline normally, of course, it is difficult. There is very difficult to achieve. I know that, but as HR person, we should strongly believe. We should have that conviction that I can change the person. The moment you have the conviction that I can change the person,
The 50
you may be successful, you may not be successful.
Correct.
That is secondary, I think. But the efforts will be there.
Correct.
But if you think, no, nothing will happen, this person will not change, I have to take the actions, I will issue 100 letters, I think that will really not work.
Correct. But basically talking about walk the talk, like
Yeah.
maybe the communication with the things. And do you have any experience you change any person in this?
There are many.
Could you want to highlight any without taking any name? Like you can just give
Okay,
the example.
I will say one.
Because the purpose of asking this, because I want to know, there are a lot of people, viewers are there who want to HR professional, want to start their life, HR profession. That's going to help them. That's basically it.
But there are many cases where actually I remember some of the cases where the person was seen as a person who cannot improve, whose discipline is very bad, or he has to be sent out, for example, or he has to be shown the doors through various mechanisms. But many times we are taken as a challenge. Yeah. Many times what we did is we took them, some of them under HR directly. Oh. Yeah. So HR took these people, developed them. Many such cases are there, and we coached them under our what we say care and concern. Such people were developed, and there are some cases where the person who is considered as the person who cannot improve, his discipline is very bad, those people, they become trainers. Now they are teaching the entire company how we should behave, what should be your behavior, right? So such transformation, they are visiting to they are even presenting to the visitors. Yeah, this is the culture of the company, this is what we do.
Right? How they change?
This is change because you trust them.
Okay.
You empower them.
Okay.
Yeah, you give them the interesting task. You understand what they need. Probably a person who is in manufacturing, he may not be liking that job.
Okay.
Right? The indiscipline starts from there, because it is something is enforced to him. But can you identify what he really likes? Can you give a job which is closer to his area of interest? Or many times, let's say a person is very good communicator, he has got good skills. Can you give a job which is closer to that? Right? So there is no point in telling him you do this, because he doesn't want to do that. So I think this is the role of HR, where we identify the interests of the people, their strengths, their competencies, and accordingly we try to accommodate the best possible way so that they can develop and they can really become good employees. This is my experience. Of course, there are, each person's HR experience is different.
100%, I do understand.
So in that way, we do not have any ready-made solution.
Correct.
So
it may not be true or wrong like that.
It will vary from person to person.
Absolutely.
It will vary from organization to organization. But probably this is what I have seen.
Definitely. Everyone has their own right way to do it. That's
Exactly.
what,
And each setup is different.
Different, yeah.
Right? Each background is different. Each society is different. Each company's culture is different.
Correct.
So I think what works here, it may not work in other companies. Or what works for one HR, it may not work for another HR. Yeah. But it's always interesting to understand what happened in other companies or in other areas or other societies.
Correct. That's really nice you put it thing. But you mentioned couple of times culture. According to you, how much is important for any organization to build a culture? Because when we talk about employee size of, let's say, 2,000, 3,000, especially I'm talking about in manufacturing sector, there is a blue collar employee as well as a mid-level management and a white collar employee. There are three different categories.
Yes.
This is what I know
Yes.
Personally to interacting so many HR people. According to you, why or what is so important of culture? Because these people, or let's say 2,000, 3,000 employee, will be in a different kind of a religion, or culture background, education background. They'll be there. How much, according to you, why is this very important for organization?
I think the organization culture is it's a nerve system of the organization, right? The culture is really required to ensure that the workplace is enjoyable, employees have the pride, right? Employees are happy to work. You can get the talent from outside. You can manage the operation easily, smoothly. That's the image, reputation of the organization comes from the culture. Let's say that everybody says, no, this culture company is not good. From where it is coming? It is coming from the culture, right? If somebody says, no, I want to join this company, if there is one candidate telling that I want to join this company, means that he is attracted towards the culture. I think culture is the nerve system of the organization. Culture is important. A company which promotes the people-based culture, it will always be successful. We always say, right? You may have good processes, you may have very good systems, right? But if the people are not okay, nothing will work. Your products are directly dependent on your people first, and then on your processes and systems. So if culture is not there, organization cannot survive, or even if it survives, it will not be productive, right? So I think I am the person who strongly believe that if you can establish an excellent culture in the organization can do wonders.
I think this is the foundation of any organization, right?
Definitely.
Because that's very important actually. That's very, very important.
That is, I think culture is the identity. It's the identity,
the organization.
Identity of the organization.
Okay, maybe you can call it as a identity of the organization as well as the brand of the brand.
Correct. Now, let's say one company is promoting innovation. In culture of innovation is identity, right?
Oh, right.
So in that way, I think that what kind of culture you want to build, that is very important. It's a set of values, it's a set of beliefs. Probably it is the way people behave when nobody is observing. That's what we call, right? That's a culture. Even that culture gets reflected even in your vision statements. So once you are clear about what kind of culture you want to develop, all your systems, all your processes, all your procedures must be revolving around that. We can't speak two things. I want to have this culture, but I want to have this policy. That will never work. Right? One side you want to say that I want to have excellent culture, but my policies are not people friendly, for example, then it will not work like that. So I think this is the DNA of the company. Once that is clear, everything will revolve around there. Then the organization gets a excellent culture which is built in. Culture is built in over the period of years or decades. Culture cannot change overnight. Right?
Correct.
This is the danger. Many times, many companies, they try to copy each other. That company's culture is very good. Even we want to bring the same culture here, let us change. I think that will not work. So the infusion, the inculcation, development, stabilization, everything, it takes its own
Time.
time.
Right. And it's not one day process. Like you need to be everyday practice. That's going to change. Right?
It starts from the top.
Correct.
And it should go even to the last person,
And the organization,
including the security person, maybe who may be doing his routine job.
Okay, very good point you highlighted, like top person to the down the security guards also. Let's say if someone started the business, like let's say build an organization, startup something. We have around 20 people or 30 people, or let's say maximum 50 people, startup companies. According to you, if you want to highlight 3 top culture to start with that, as you mentioned, it will take a time to develop that kind of a culture. Let's say you want to focus first 3 in a culture. What are those 3 according to you?
So I would say that one, since it's a organization of 20
to 50 people, example, yeah.
I think probably the people make a lot of difference there, right? So probably it's like a startup, and you have to do lot of improvements with the people. So a culture of care and concern. Right?
Care and concern.
Care and concern.
Okay.
That is very, very important. When I say care and concern, it is not just responding to the problems. It starts from action as simple as like respect with a wish, and it can go up to the level of developing people, right, to the maximum level, identifying their potential, recognizing them, appreciating them, ensuring that their work-life balance is taken care, ensuring that there is no grievances, right, ensuring that there is adequate communication between the groups, collaboration, teamwork. I think everything is put together. We call it as a culture of care and concern. It's very broad, right? That is, I think that will really make, wonders to such teams.
That's one of the main point to highlight, right?
Yes.
And any other 2 if you want to give?
Yeah, I think everything is clubbed together only it comes, right? Okay. Ultimately, people-centered culture, when we say.
Very important.
Yeah, everything will come together, actually. You are developing them, you are recognizing them, you are ensuring that career growth, you are ensuring that they do not have any grievances, you are ensuring that there is adequate communication, you are ensuring that there is collaboration, you are ensuring that their work-life balance is taken care. So, a culture of care and concern for the people, I think that will really make wonders.
Super. Thank you so much for sharing. And
sorry, here I just wanted to interfere. I saw you were, in the office. Okay. I saw a board of recognition. Very simple thing, but makes huge difference. When people see that, on the wall I am recognized, and I see myself, or I see the, my photograph there, my achievements on a wall every day in front of others. So I think it's a superb, recognition and
thank you so
appreciation.
No, it means a lot, sir. That also you have more than 30 years experience in the industries, and you reach in a top level in the organization. And you talking about us, like you done a pretty good job and making recognition that board what we in our office. Thank you so much. It means a lot,
Excellent.
sir. Trust me. It means a lot. Thank you.
One of the best example I can say.
Yeah, we also practicing like after doing so many podcasts, I also learn how to people-centric culture. Also working on that. Even though we are trying every best our level, like every day. As you mentioned rightly, that it's not going to happen immediately. It's take a long time, and you need to be in a right direction. Okay, you need to take a small steps towards building one of the best cultured company. That's what we believe in that.
And another point. Sorry, sorry for interfering, but another point I must appreciate is for your values, right? Though you are a team of 20, you clearly specify these are the values around which my organization should be built.
Core values, yeah.
I think very few companies they do that.
Thank you, sir.
So once again, wonderful for.
No, thank you so much for your inputs, really. I'm so lucky that instead of coming directly studio, you come to our office.
Yes, of
See
course.
something we got that okay,
Yeah.
what we're doing in the right things. That's all.
Right.
Thank you so much for telling. Thank you so much. And sometime back you mentioned one of the very valid point is because you focus more on IR and their building trust is very important, right? Within the maybe union things
Yes.
and for the employee. How you build a trust? Uh, I know it's not easy, as we tell trust, but there are a lot of difference of opinion will be there because when you have a union leader. But where you focus to building that kind of trust? Why union has to trust you? Because you work, you will be like normally HR will be like a sandwich, but like management as well the union. Because why they have to believe you? Why they have to listen you? Because what made you to build that kind of a trust? Could you highlight on that?
Yeah, of course, building trust is not easy. It's a challenge. We are all people. We are dependent on various factors. The trust level also sometimes it goes up, it comes down, it fluctuates, right? So many factors affect the trust. But I believe that there are 2-3 things which are very important to build the trust. One, as much as possible, you must be transparent, right? Why union does not trust the management, right? The question comes because they think that management doing something behind which we are not aware, or they are always against us, right? They will bring some policies which will not be in favor of people. So as long as you are transparent, right, you take them into confidence, you involve them, right? Whether whatever improvement you want to do, involve them, be transparent, be communicative, be proactive. Communication is another thing, and build the relationship. We have at least I have experienced that such things really work, right? But many times we are afraid of sharing the data, right? If they take the data, then what will happen? Nothing happens. We have a lot of mistrust even with the union. I think that is problem, right? We think that they will do something, but they are also people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We have, at least I have experienced that nothing happens. Let's say you want to do some major business reforms, right? What we do is we will not tell union. We will tell them no. If they do something, then they will file a case, right? But then some problem will happen. They will do that. Nothing happens. You please communicate in advance, right? This is the current business condition. This is what is required for our survival, right? And nowadays, if you look at, they understand.
Correct.
They understand better when you, in fact, they appreciate. When you proactively communicate, they appreciate. Right? Sensitivity to grievances. Many times we tend to ignore it, but promote the grievance, grievance redressal system. In many places, actually, my own experience where we try to visualize the grievances. Keep a board there. You go and write. What is your grievance? Then the responsibility comes to the supervisor. He has to solve it, right? Or have many forums to raise the grievances. More and more forums are there for grievance rise, then problem comes from. But we limit the communication,
Correct.
right? Under various pretexts, we try to avoid. Right? In fact, I normally meet even union just for a coffee. No discussion required. I would coffee with them. They are also very happy, right?
Correct.
So ultimately, we are all human beings.
Absolutely.
Right? So then the other things comes. So
That's what we're talking about care and concern.
yeah, that's a current concern. Have a cup of coffee with them.
Absolutely.
Ask them how are you.
Correct.
Right? Connect with them. I think these things really makes difference. That's what my experience is. Yeah. So I think these transparency, building relationship, grievance redressal, frank communication with them, one-to-one relations with the leaders, right? Formal, informal. These are the things which any HR person has to think of to build the trust, even with the union.
Okay. And is it important to have a union in any organization? Like bigger organizations like?
Yeah, I think nothing wrong in that.
Okay.
So basically it's again the sense of insecurity what members may be having.
Okay.
So probably they are very comfortable to share such problems probably with the union, right? But it's our responsibility to ensure that, you know, the union is rightly groomed, leaders are developed, right? Then definitely union will be really supportive in the company. Union must not be seen as a body which is always against us.
you, like opposition party.
Yeah, they are partner in our business.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So for anything, union support is required for us. So in that way, when you consider them as partner in the business, the things become much easier,
Easy.
and really you can enjoy that relationship.
Correct. But there is any criteria that, okay, if you have so much of employee in an organization, you should have a union kind of things?
No,
There's no mandatory like that.
of course there is a legal requirement for the minimum, but nothing is mandatory.
Okay. But okay. Then why not in IT company? There is no unions as such in IT.
IT also
What is
is-
the difference? Like why they not have any IT?
If I'm right, IT also has got some federation.
Okay.
Nowadays, IT also has federation.
Okay.
But I think IT, if you look at, they are the knowledge workers. So probably the level of information what they have, level of exposure what they have, much different than a manufacturing sector. Probably.
Is it because of the mindset?
Yeah, there are various aspects. They are highly paid,
Okay.
right? They have good demand maybe in the job market.
Mm-hmm.
They are not totally dependent on one particular company for the job. The sense of insecurity may not be so much
Mm-hmm.
in terms of getting a job outside, right? And I said that their exposure, they travel around the world.
Correct.
They know what is good, what is not good. Probably if something happens, then you know how it will impact organization. I think there are multiple reasons. I think.
And that, as you mentioned, they paid very well. They got a lot of perks, bonus, and all.
Correct.
That's why they don't bother about all these things.
I think their
And
priorities
then
are
the facility, kind of facility they provided by the management is be highly appreciated.
their priorities are
They're taken
totally
care
different.
well. That's what
They're taken
they
care
feel.
well. Yes,
And
of
manufacture is not there already,
Yeah.
but not
that's a
that
different
extension.
culture.
Yeah, different.
That culture is different.
That's what
that workplace
Correct.
is different. The kind of exposure is different. So I think
Because
that
here you'll get a
is-
work from home facility.
yeah.
In manufacture, you won't get that one because definitely you can't.
It's a huge difference, I guess.
Definitely, it's like the industry is totally different.
Exactly.
That's a major difference. Yeah.
True.
Thank you so much for sharing, sir. And I saw your couple of articles in LinkedIn, and you give a lot of talk show. Like maybe I think you go on so many colleges and you give talk or a speaker of the college. Is it part of your organization or you are separate? Like when you do all this, when you get the time of these things, sir?
Yeah, this I started a few years back.
Okay.
Of course, it is basically more of personal passion.
Okay.
So how it started is that normally the industry will always complain that we don't get good quality students. They're not up to the mark. They
Okay.
do not know the industry. They do not have the skills. But the question comes, what industry is doing?
Industries in the means you're talking about only automobile industries or overall manufacturing
any
industries?
industry.
Acha, any
Any
industries. Okay.
Right?
Got it.
When the students,
Acha.
when they pass out, they should be ready to join corporate, right?
Correct.
But if they need to be ready to join the corporate, then they should have some skills, some exposure,
Absolutely.
which should be given maybe at the college level. So this is where actually I thought we must connect with academia. We must give them inputs, both the students as well as the faculty members.
Okay.
So this is what we expect of the corporate. When your students are ready to join, at least this minimum thing should be there, right? So this is what the thought came, and I also saw some of my even my batchmates, they were doing a lot of such activities, and this is also another thing of giving back to the society. Probably I have some experience, right, due to working for so many years.
Yes,
At least I have experience. So I thought maybe I must share this experience with the students, and that's how I started. I started in a small way, then I found it more interesting, more satisfying.
Wow.
Then I used to get a lot of happiness.
Wow.
Then initially I never used to get the time also. I used to struggle to get the time, and now since we reduced our working days also in the company, so it's also helping me. So I get engaged almost all the Saturdays. I go to the colleges, talk to the people.
This on every Saturday like that.
Almost people
Super, sir.
request and sometimes it will be in the form of corporate mentoring.
Okay.
So some institutes they have program of corporate mentoring, right? So they allot, let's say, some 10 students to you.
Mhm.
So you need to handhold them, you need to guide them for 6 months. So that kind of programs are there. So I got associated with some of the institutes also for that. So I think it's become really interesting, and it's also one way of telling the students this is the, I mean, whenever I talk to the students, when I ask them whether you want to join manufacturing industry, people will say no. Then I ask them what is the reason. So they have typical image of manufacturing industry means like it has got union, oil, right, hard work, all those things. But I tell them no, industry has changed a lot. Now maybe the offices are not less than any IT company, right? So this is one way of communicating to the students that you also must be willing to take up career in manufacturing.
Manufacturing also, correct.
And also we talk about employment, skills. In fact, today morning also I was in one of the college and they were asking, sir, how we should get ready for the interview. So all those things. So I was giving them some tips how to use internship projects, what additional skills they should have. I think these are the things which we can easily give back to the society, gives a lot of satisfaction to ourselves, and it also helps the industry, it also helps the academia. So this is the total activity what I do actually.
But how many years are doing this one?
Almost probably 6 to 8 years.
6 to 8 years. Wow, that's great. No, this is very important because that's our responsibility how to give back to the society.
Right.
There are a couple of people do with the buying some things and giving to you, or give directly charity as a money they'll give. And this is very important, giving your time.
Exactly.
That's very, very important because you're going to invest a lot of time with the upcoming HR or students. They want to pursue their career in a different area. That's very important to give your time. And that you have so much of experience, when you invest so much of time on these people, really, it's amazing work for you.
There's also one more additional point to that. This kind of interaction with the students will also help you to get new generation perspectives.
That's very important. Yeah.
Normally we always call ourselves Gen X. We think that the Gen Zs, they have different thinking. But what attempts you are making to understand how do they feel, what do they want, what are their aspirations, how do they want to work, for example. So I think this is the one activity which also helped me to understand the new generation. Probably that will help me for my work also, because the future generation is going to join. All their policies, everything should be custom made for this generation. You can't continue with the old type of policies when the new generation is entering the organization. So learning from students, so it is very, very important, I think. So I think some of the things, even in one of the programs what we did, going back to the campus, right, as a part of development for the managers. So where we sent back these managers back to the college after so many years. They were very happy to go back to the college and learn from the college. So I think this kind of activities, innovative thinking or innovative activity should come so that we can develop people, and the generation gap what we talk at workplace can be minimized.
Good. And you interacted so many Gen X people, right? How they are, like when it's come to talent wise or kind of skills what they're learning, they're far ahead of us, right? Like for example, as you mentioned, according to you, what made you to like, no, this bunch of people have so much of courage or passion towards achieving. According to what do you mean?
The Gen Z, what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's. When you interact with the people, that's how they stand different from us, right?
See, the baseline, if you look at, every generation is different. Probably when we were younger, our parents would have taught, what is this generation, right? He is not thinking like me.
Correct.
Even our fathers would have been seen like they would live right there, our grandfathers, for example.
Kids also different.
So every generation is different, that is there. But coming to the new generation, Gen Z, they are, tech savvy, right? So they want a job which has got a purpose. For example, Gen X, if you look at, we are looking for a job which has got job security,
security,
right? All those things. But they are not like that because their background itself is like that. they are well to do. So if this job is not happy, I will quit tomorrow.
Correct.
As long as there is no value addition to me, I'm not interested. They have all the liberty to change the job. And everything should be instant because they are born like in the world which is very instant, right? So everything should be instant. Your appreciation, your recognitions, everything should be instant.
Correct.
So I think this is what the generation wants. One is they're upfront because they are, even nowadays if you look at the parent, they have only one child, for example, right? So the method they are brought up like that only. Right? So in that way, same thing gets converted even when they go back to the corporates. They are upfront. They will talk to even the boss. They don't hesitate to give the feedback. Right? They will say this is wrong, right? Right is right. So I think we should get prepared for that. At all the systems, everything should get aligned to welcome this new generation. Whether you should have policies, systems, procedures, and more than that, we must educate our managers, right? So we must tell them that the new generation will be like this. So how they need to adapt, what changes they need to do. I think that's more important for HR to take care of that. Yeah.
Okay, great. Mentioned. And according to you, like you are there from last 30 years in manufacturing industries, there is a lot of changes happen in HR. Okay. Now, earlier those days, HR means okay, only the policy maker or people pleaser or some like ease will be take management support, those kind of things. Now the perspective changed. Now HR think like is the part of the decision making when it's come to company vision or goal. That's what I understand because he work as a business partner in especially HR people. How it has changed according to you? When you started your career, now if you think after 30 years, is it relatable what I'm talking to you, or this is what I done couple of podcasts and they told no, the perspective is totally changed now.
Yes, you're right. Okay. I think initially if you look at the role of HR, it was more for administration,
Okay.
right? In the sense you handle the payroll, you handle some cases, you handle the attendance, right? So now if you look at the perspective definitely changed. You are seen as one of the partner in the strategy making. You are part of the overall business. People and business, the linkage, now if you look at it is more compared to the earlier days. So in that when you give importance to the people, the importance to the HR also will go, right? Earlier you were more like, more of clerical jobs, I would like to say, or it was, not much of strategy involved in that. But probably now it is not so. So how to develop people to ensure that organization also grows, that is a focus. When that is a focus, HR becomes a partner to develop people. I was just talking about you, how to identify the interest of the people, enrich their job, empower them. All these are part of that only.
Okay.
Right. So I feel that compared to earlier condition, definitely the HR's role as a strategic business partner, definitely it is improved. Right? Business cannot ignore HR now.
Correct.
For sure. Right. Earlier business can run without HR, but HR is more of supportive function. Right.
Support system.
It's a support system. But now it is definitely it is not there. And moreover, you also have seen COVID period, how the organization have supported during COVID period. It's only people related issues. I think.
That's one of the bad phases in our life. Right?
Yeah. So
that's very important. Yeah.
You may be having best of the best systems, as I said, best of the best procedures, but if people are not there, so organization cannot survive.
But okay, I understand what you're telling. But people talk about systems works, people fail something like. What do you take on that? Like, normally they talk, fail systems. If you have, no need to have a people because that systems only works like that.
There are two things. One, systems are made by people, right? You have right people, they will make right system.
Okay.
Right? You do not have right people, they may not make right systems. That is one. And who has to follow the system? Again, it's people, right? Systems are made for
Made
what?
from, yeah,
Systems are again made for people. only.
people. Yeah, correct.
So if people do not obey the systems, right, then again systems won't work. Number 2. Number 3, systems cannot be static. Systems is always subject for improvement. Who has to do the improvement? Again, people,
Correct.
right? So it's a systems are always subject for continuous improvement, what we call. So we strongly believe in continuous improvement, right? So this continuous improvement can happen again by people only. So thinking, the ability for thinking, what we call, is the people.
Yeah, I agree on that. Correct.
Systems only to tell you how to do it,
Okay.
right? But what to do will come from people.
No, I agree on that because it's very important to be more people oriented system or process, because nowadays, I have be hearing so much news about AI and all, and so many people losing job, and very difficult to survive nowadays because 80% of your job is taken care by AI. That's what they're going to predict. Next to 2 to 3 years or 3 to 5 years, they're going to be change a lot, and only the personal touch, the care and that what you talk about, care and concern, that going to survive, because when you have a personalized that interaction with the human being, that's going to survive rather than what you talk about other things. That's what I agree on. Is it right what I'm talking about? Like,
You are right to some extent. But if you look at research, the technology is ever evolving, right? So probably the technology what we have seen,
correct.
our parents are not seeing. So generation to generation, technology will change, right? At what age we have seen the mobile, we know that, right? Similarly, my son would have seen mobile maybe earlier than me, right?
Correct.
Probably the radios, I still remember my father used to say, when the radios have come, so it was news in the village. Because his father had not seen the radio. TV when it came.
We used to listen cricket's commentary in the radio.
Correct. So telephone, for example. So technology will ever evolve.
Correct.
Computer when it came. Right?
Absolutely.
So I hope you remember the STD booths what we used to have. So now no more STD booths. But it did not mean that people died because of that.
Oh, yeah.
Correct.
Correct.
So if you recall, there was a huge nationwide bank strike when the computers were introduced in the banks. They were telling, no, if the computer comes,
Yeah,
right, we will lose the job.
Yeah, correct.
Correct. So they were in the system where they will issue a token, then you manually enter the
Correct.
passbooks. So those have gone. But it did not mean that people have, reduced. So technology is going to ever evolve. So new professions will come, new careers will come with the new technology, right? But AI, as you said, that is going to pose some threat, but it's like a gun, right? Gun can be used to protect the nation, right? It can be used for killing a
Other human being.
yeah. So same thing. Right? So how you use the technology is more important, right? So what I want to say is technology has to be used as a supportive tool, right? It is there to make your job easy.
Easy.
Right?
Okay.
As long as you pick the skills, you know how to use it, your job is safe.
Good. Great. Correct. And you have a L&D team also, right?
Yeah,
Okay, because, okay. What are things, because I know you go to the college, you teach them, you give talk, and you'll be a lot of conferences as a panel discussion. I have a couple of things on that. What are you to upskill yourself, sir? Because I know you need to be, what is happening now present, you need to be updating yourself, right? Irrespective of skills or knowledge or technology. What are the things you do day to day or for learning? What are the things you do normally?
I think there are a lot of initiatives like this. So each company is trying to understand what are the technological disruptions happening, right? They will understand what is the requirement. So nowadays, if you look at a lot of new ways of learning has come. Let's say e-learning modules have come, where you get each and everything.
Okay.
Right? The simulation models have come, where you can feel that you have virtual models of learnings. So those things are also coming. And with the technological change, a lot of changes are also going to happen in your production processes, right? So those things again, that inputs are given. I think continuous learning has become mantra. So L&D team or whoever is connected, they will do everything to ensure that the culture of upskilling, reskilling continuously happens, to ensure that people are adequately trained on that. It could be on skill level, it could be with knowledge level, right? So these things are a continuous process and it's required for the survival.
That's important. Okay, thank you so much for
Thank you
coming,
so much,
sir.
Thank you very much.
This is a sustainable brand called Rafter. Small gift for our end.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for calling me here.
It's my pleasure, sir. Always. Thank you. 3 takeaway from this episode. The first one is the care and concern. It's very important to have that kind of self-talk with the people whom you care. As an industrial head, you should know how to take the people along with you. When you talk in a politely, when you talk concern, that makes a huge difference when as a HR head, because you need to have a walk the talk on every time. That's going to build that kind of connections with the individual. But the second one is trust. How are you going to build trust with the union leaders? Very, very important, because be honest with them what management want to decide. Even though they want to change the policy, they have different kind of a vision, they're facing any kind of a issue. You should be very transparent. You should be very honest with the people, like union people. That's what you're going to build a trust. It's very important. Once the trust established, then everything will be easy, because everyone is working for the organization goal. It is not like any individual thing. It's very important to build that kind of a trust. The third one is self-discipline. It's very, very important, because as he mentioned, when he come from Japan, the different culture, that self-discipline is very important. You should know, if you don't keep up your words, that doesn't make any sense at all. You need to be more self-disciplined, because when you start building that kind of a habit, that kind of a discipline in yourself, people going to recognize you, and that's going to change the game. And you need to be work towards building a self-discipline. That's very important. These are my 3 takeaway from this episode. If you like this episode, please do share and subscribe immediately, and share with your professional friends. Thank you so much for watching this episode. See you in next episode.